Jephthah's story is one of resilience. He was born into difficult circumstances. His mother was a prostitute. This ostracized him from his half-brothers. They drove him away, forcing him to flee to the land of Tob. There he gathered a band of followers. Jephthah became a skilled warrior, known for his strength and courage. When the Ammonites threatened Israel, the elders of Gilead sought Jephthah's help. They remembered his military prowess. Desperate for a leader, they approached him with an offer. If Jephthah agreed to lead them against the Ammonites, they would make him head over all Gilead. This was a significant opportunity for Jephthah. It offered him a chance to return to his homeland. He could claim the inheritance denied to him in his youth. Jephthah recognized the weight of the situation. He agreed to lead the Israelites against their enemies. Jephthah's rise to leadership illustrates the complexities of the time. It reveals a society grappling with internal divisions and external threats. Despite his difficult beginnings, Jephthah possessed the qualities needed to unite and lead his people. He embodied the potential for redemption and restoration. Before leading the Israelites into battle, Jephthah made a solemn vow to God. He pledged that if God granted him victory, he would offer as a burnt offering the first thing that came out of his house. This vow, made in desperation, would have dire consequences. Vows were sacred and binding agreements with God. They were often made in times of crisis. Jephthah's vow was unusual. Offering a human sacrifice was forbidden by God. Jephthah may not have considered the implications of his words. His vow set in motion a chain of tragic events. His story serves as a cautionary tale about making rash promises. Jephthah returned home victorious. He had defeated the Ammonites and secured the safety of his people, but his triumph was short-lived. As he approached his house, his heart sank. The first to greet him was his beloved daughter, his only child. The weight of his vow crashed down upon him. Jephthah was faced with an unimaginable choice: break his vow to God or sacrifice his daughter. Torn between love and duty, Jephthah chose obedience. His daughter accepted her fate with remarkable strength and grace. She asked for 2 months to mourn with her companions in the mountains. Then she submitted to her father's decision. This event is a testament to Jephthah's unflinching obedience to God. It raises questions about the nature of sacrifice and the consequences of blind faith. The story of Jephthah's daughter reminds us of the human cost of religious zealotry. It challenges us to grapple with the complexities of faith and the difficult choices it demands. While Jephthah's story is rooted in the Old Testament, some theologians see parallels between his life and the life of Jesus Christ. These parallels are not direct prefigurations, but rather thematic connections that highlight certain aspects of Jesus' mission and sacrifice. Both Jephthah and Jesus were rejected by their own people. Jephthah was driven away by his half-brothers, while Jesus was rejected by the religious leaders of his day. Both figures ultimately sacrificed themselves for the sake of others. Jephthah offered up his daughter to fulfill his vow, while Jesus willingly gave his life on the cross to atone for the sins of humanity. Jephthah's attempt to negotiate with the Ammonites before resorting to war can also be seen as a foreshadowing of Jesus' message of peace and reconciliation. Both figures sought to resolve conflict through diplomacy before resorting to violence. These parallels, while open to interpretation, offer a unique lens through which to view Jephthah's story. They suggest that even in the midst of tragedy and flawed human choices, God can work to bring about redemption and hope. Let's delve into the enduring lessons from Judges 11. The story of Jephthah is not just a tale of victory and tragedy, it's a profound narrative that challenges us to reflect on the nature of vows, the complexities of faith, and the consequences of our decisions. Jephthah's vow, made in a moment of desperation, led to a heartbreaking outcome. It serves as a cautionary tale about the weight of our words and the promises we make. Moreover, the story underscores the importance of seeking wisdom and discernment in our commitments. It also highlights the human cost of religious zealotry and the potential dangers of interpreting faith in a rigid, unyielding manner. Through Jephthah's story, we are reminded that faith, while a source of strength and guidance, should also be tempered with compassion and understanding. As we navigate our own journeys of faith, may we strive to balance our commitments with empathy and wisdom, always mindful of the impact our choices have on those we hold dear. Are you ready for the next chapter? Just click here to go straight to it.